What's going on, you guys? This is Jerry here, or AHP, and today I want to share another memory with you guys. I don't want to hold this too much. There, okay. So this story took actually exactly 10 years ago. This is when I was in the 4th grade. I was 10 years old, 10 years old, and this is the sleepover that I had. I was in the 4th grade. Back then I was kind of like a loner, like I've mentioned in my other videos before. I didn't have any friends, and these guys, well, one of them was my real friend, but the rest were just friends. But I was a fool back then. I was an idiot. I was a loner, desperate to have friends. So one time, his name is Jimmy. Now, Jimmy and I talked the most, but he was the asshole of all. And as 4th grade went by, I got transferred to another school. I used to go to Stoddard. I went to Stoddard for 4th grade, and before that I went to James Madison. And I got transferred to Stoddard. I was like a strange kid. I was new. I didn't know anybody. Nobody knew me. It was just like awkward. Fresh start. So I tried to make friends. I can't remember how we became friends, but I guess we sort of became friends. Friends, not friends, friends. So as time went on, he did a lot of things. Before I get to the story, I'm gonna give you a little background. I think he would be friends with me for interest. He would tell me, "Oh, do this or I'm not gonna be your friend anymore. Give me this or I'm not gonna be your friend anymore." I used to sell tongue tapes. They were like these kind of candies, like the Listerine tapes, but except they were candy. And because at the time, my mom, in my home situation, we were like we were poor, we were broke. No lights, no electricity, or same thing, no food. It was a mess. And try to make things a little better. I tried selling tongue tapes with candy, and he would be like, "Oh, hook it up, like, oh, I'm not your friend anymore, you don't hook it up." So I did. I hooked it up, and I got my ass whooped for that. Almost every weekend, my dad used to come pick me up, and yeah, he would ask for a ride, even though he lived like seconds away from. He literally lived right in front of the freaking school, so he asked for a ride. So whatever, I gave him a ride and everything else. Now to the story. I wanted to have a sleepover because I've never had a sleepover before. Growing up as a kid in the 90s, early 2000s, before, like when I moved to Anaheim, I used to sleep over with my uncle a lot. My uncle's my mom's brother, and he was already married. It was just him and my aunt. My sister and I stayed at his house almost every single weekend. We would do fun stuff. My dad would be working, so we just went with my uncle. We did the fun stuff with him. So I guess this is why I'm very close to my uncle. I have a really good uncle. So anyways, back to the story. So I planned to have a sleepover with him just one night. It was on a Friday, and I've been planning this for weeks. And I asked him, "Hey, do you want to have a sleepover at my house?" And he's like, "Yeah, whatever." Like, he wasn't too up about it. He was like, "Yeah, alright, we'll have a sleepover." And we've been planning this for weeks. I'm like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes, I'll go, yes, I'll go, yes, I'll go." But he didn't seem very "Oh, yes, we're gonna have a sleepover." He didn't seem very happy about it. No. So the night came. After school, my mom went to pick me up, and we went to the Food for Less, and with the very little money we had, she bought chips, she bought snacks, my gosh, she bought a lot of things that night. And we had it planned for about 6-7ish for him to come over. We're gonna pig out, we're gonna watch movies, regular guy sleepover stuff. He liked Pokemon, I like Nintendo, so we could talk about that or whatever. So the time came, it was already 7:30, and I was like, maybe he's just running late. I don't know. We'll give him a couple more minutes. And my mom's like, maybe you should give him a call because I don't think he's gonna come. And I'm like, no, he'll come. And I call him, and I asked him, hey, are you still coming? And he told me no, that his parents grounded him. And I was like, oh, okay, well, number one, he had my number, so he could have called and said, hey, you know what? My parents grounded me, so I can't come over no more. So, yeah. So, motherfucker is what he does. I hear him take out of his backpack over the phone his Game Boy. He turns it on, and he plays Super Mario Advance, this game that I let him borrow. And I could hear it full on volume, him playing and echoing in his room. And I was thinking, okay, if your parents grounded you, why are you playing the Game Boy? Oh, it's because, what's it called? My parents are cool like that. I'm like, okay, so they let you play your Game Boy, but they don't let you come to a sleepover, right? And he stayed quiet, and he was like, well, I don't want to come to your sleepover anyway, so fuck you. And I was just like, fucking asshole. And I hung up and I started crying because it was my first sleepover ever with a friend. I was happy, you know, I was excited. I was very like, oh yes, we're gonna have a sleepover, it's gonna be rocking. Yeah, we're gonna talk about video games, we're gonna watch movies, we're gonna tell serious stories, have snacks, pick out, everything else. And hold on one second, guys, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, you guys. Someone's at the door. Anyways, so I was happy to be, you know, oh yeah, we're gonna have a sleepover, awesome, yay. And turns out that he didn't want to come, that he was just, you know, making me, you know, getting my hopes up and then turning me down at the last minute. Motherfucker. So, you know, that was it. That's a sleepover that I've never had. I didn't talk to him for weeks, and then, you know, I was kind of a loner, so I started talking to him again, and we became friends again. I'll tell more about him in more videos. Now, I didn't get my very first sleepover with that's not relatives until my senior year of high school. Now, there's this guy that I've known since I was in the 8th grade, and he's like my brother. He's been there for me, and he's like my blood brother. And there's this other dude that he's also a good friend of mine, that he's like a brother too, and we decided to have a sleepover. So I used to be wild back then. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. I used to get hyper by eating a lot of sugar. Now, my way of hyperness was like I would giggle out of anything. It could be totally quiet and I would just start bursting in laughter. And I guess my laughter I laugh in a funny way from what I was told. So, yeah, that was my way of getting hyper. So he agreed my friend agreed to have a sleepover at his house. And his house is right in front of the school, my high school. So we were like, awesome, okay, we'll have a sleepover. So that same night, I told my mom, you know what, Mom? You know, he wants to have a sleepover at his house. Can we go? She said, yeah, okay. So I went. Sorry, I said we, but me. She said, yeah, you can go. That's fine. And we had an awesome night. You know, we went out to Cold Stone, had some ice cream. Went out to dinner. We had fun. We had a blast. We didn't go to sleep until like maybe 12 o'clock because, you know, it was a school night and we were tired. So that's the sleepover I had. It was the best time ever. And that is what I call friends. So to this day, I haven't seen Jimmy at all ever since junior high school. Haven't seen him, haven't heard from him, and don't wanna. So that's it, you guys. That's the story of the sleepover I've never had. So thank you so much for viewing. Like, subscribe, favorite, comment, share, and enjoy. And I'll share more of my childhood stories later on, okay? So, see you later!